NFL Week 1 predictions and fantasy and sleepers and upset picks. Week 1 of the 2025 NFL season is already, by the way, underway with the Eagles beating the Cowboys in the opener and the Chargers defeating the Chiefs in Brazil. And by the way, we have been preparing for the regular season for weeks with previews and rankings, but just in case, by the way, you still need some last minute intel for the 14 games remaining on Sunday and Monday. And our NFL, by the way, analysts have you covered at the 11th hour. First, by the way, analytics writer Seth Walder breaks down three state trends that could be pivotal this weekend. And then fantasy football, by the way, writer Eric Moody. Eric Moody runs through five players and who are rostered in under 50% of ESPN fantasy football. And leaks, by the way, as of yesterday, and could be started in a jam. That's followed, by the way, by NFL analyst Ben Solak predicting three potentially big surprises, and NFL analyst Matt Bowen picking one key, by the way, matchup to match finally. And the sport is beating analyst Pamela Maldonado gives, by the way, her favorite bet of week 1. And could Jamer Gibbs have a huge receiving game? By the way, will the Bengals finally win in week 1? Which two Jaguars should you add in your fantasy leagues? And let's dive in one of my favorite states, place in the discrepancy between running backs, receiving numbers against man and zone coverage. And the backs, by the way, were targeted on 10% of man coverage dropbacks last season and code passes on 8% of such dropbacks, but against zone, those same numbers jumped to 18%, by the way, and 15%. Respectively, by the way, that's almost doubling the reception rate when facing zone looks well. And take a guess who ranked third in receiving yards among running backs, and which team, by the way, ranked second in zone coverage rate last season. That's right, Gibbs and the Bakers. He should be set up for a huge day, by the way. This is the first test to see what Reddick has left in the tank after his lost year. And with the Jets, it should be, by the way, an easy one to clear. And Wilkinson will play right tackle for the Falcons with Caleb McGarry and Storm Norton injured. The last time Wilkinson, by the way, played tackle was in 2021 season, and over the course of more than 1,300 snaps at tackle between 2019 season and 2021, Wilkinson recorded a 73% pass block win rate. That market, by the way, would have ranked last among qualifying tackles in 2024 season. Yes. And by the way, Redrick, by the way, recorded double-digit sacks in every season from 2020 to 2023 season, held out for the first 6 weeks for 2024 due to the contract dispute with the Jets. And after returning, by the way, he recorded just one sack and a career low 12% pass rush win rate over 10 games. If Reddick, by the way, finds a way back to his old form, he should, by the way, have no problem beating Wilkinson and being a real threat to Michael Penix Jr. But if he can't produce, by the way, this game could be a rough sign for the rest of the Reddick's season. The touchback rate numbers could be, by the way, really interesting this weekend. And after drastic changes to the kickoff rules in 2024, by the way, NFL owners agreed to move the touchback from the 30-yard line up to the 35. I am wondering, by the way, if the touchbacks will drop from last season's 64% rate, placing more of an importance on kick returns and coverage that could have an effect across the board. But one matchup, by the way, that looks particularly intriguing is Washington against Indianapolis coverage unit last season. And Washington, by the way, was a strong returner with 121 kick return yards over expectation, fifth most in the league. and per NFL, by the way, next gen states. In the meanwhile, by the way, the Colts allowed 8.3 kick return yards over expectations for per return, and the second most, including one touchdown. And Indianapolis, by the way, had only 13 kick returns from their opponents last season and tied for second fewest. And so we'll see, by the way, if Washington gets a chance to take one out with new rules. Thank you so much. Have a nice time and great day. Thank you so much.